Good evening. You hear me? Okay. Anybody here like cockroaches? Me neither. But years ago, I kind of owe a debt to one who helped me when I was going through a life crisis. What I learned from a cockroach. I'm afraid of bugs, and always have been. I remember them knocking and buzzing at the screen and keeping me awake as I tried to sleep under the window on many hot nights, unair-conditioned, in Chicago when I was growing up. Like most people, I especially find cockroaches repulsive and disgusting. But it was a cockroach that showed up at just the right time and taught me a valuable lesson when I really needed it. It was the mid-90s on a sultry May afternoon in New Orleans. I had just left our company's partner conference. I was in turmoil. Should I leave the failing high-tech giant? It was just a matter of time before they would go belly up. Layoffs were underway. Employees disappeared daily. No one knew what was coming next. In those early days of what was politely called downsizing, employees discovered they lost their jobs when they tried to sign on to their accounts and discovered they were no longer there. They'd been deleted and cyber-zapped into oblivion. It was a fearful time. I was burned out, and as the other workers left, the rest of us shouldered more of the load. I had reached a fork in the road, stay or go, before the end. They offered me a corporate position. I just received an ovation from the sales team at the conference. But it was really too late for a turnaround. If I left, I had no idea what I would do next. The uncertainty was making me miserable. I felt stuck by my financial responsibilities and couldn't see a way out. I still had a child in college and a mortgage and no other prospects in sight in a tough job market. I didn't know what to do. Feeling the stress of indecision, I started to walk back to the hotel. On the way, I discovered an art glass studio in a restored warehouse and couldn't resist the much-needed distraction in my state of confusion. Drawn to the old warehouse, I found artisans blowing lava-like molten glass into beautiful decorative shapes and forms. I was mesmerized by how their breath gave form to liquid fire. I've always loved art glass, so it was the perfect escape from my career angst. Watching the wondrous creative process of golden liquid glass being fired in an old New Orleans warehouse, topped by an arched skylight that seemed to touch the sky, a dramatic rooftop above the fiery, glowing ovens where the glass was given its final form. Suddenly, without warning, a storm blew in. The sky blackened, lightning streaked above the skylight, putting nature's fireworks on display. It was intense, powerful, and inspiring. A theatrical production of thunder and rain clashing as glass was given shape by the artisans who remained focused at their ovens. A dramatic moment of blazing fire, pounding water, and lashing wind, like creation itself. A deluge struck the building. As we left the warehouse hurriedly, we discovered a flash flood, filling the street with rushing water. We took off our shoes, rolled up our slacks, and waded into knee-high rising water. We could feel the pavement under our feet, but we couldn't see what was beneath the quickening current. Looking for higher ground, we spotted an historic row house on the corner with a dozen deep, rain-soaked steps up to its landing. We climbed as quickly as we could to safety as the swirling water continued to rise. We were not the only ones seeking dry ground. Beneath us, we watched a giant insect, a cockroach, instinctively inch its way up each concrete step to avoid being swept away. Once again, I felt that familiar revulsion, but I was stuck in place. As I watched the roach methodically climb its way to safety, I became fascinated by its behavior. It knew what to do and how to survive. I realized in the midst of the storm that the roach moved forward to live. That was the sign I needed. I too had to move on and flee from a corporate storm that was destroying my spirit and future. I still am squeamish when I see a cockroach, but I'm grateful for what it taught me that day when I needed to escape the murky turmoil around me and regain my footing on solid ground. Sometimes life lessons come from the last place we would expect to find them.